Which that cracked me up. And I'm sure he meant that as an insult, but I just see that her being like, you motherfuckers, get me the supplies I need right now. I don't give a shit who you are.
And then turning around to these sick people in bed. Honey, are you okay?
Yes.
Do you need anything else?
Yes.
I'll get you whatever you need. And then turn around. Go! I said go!
Welcome to Ill-Equipped History, where two best friends do their best to tell you a story from history.
Morgan said, do your best from the soul.
I am struggling, you guys, more so than I have in a while. I am just coming back from a bout of food poisoning, and it was pretty bad. And I also haven't had any caffeine in like 36 hours. So I'm barely alive right now.
I'm so proud of you, because the way I would be already 6 feet under. You are so tough. You are strong. You are capable. I wouldn't survive the Hunger Games because of the lack of coffee alone. Like, I could not do what you're doing right now, and I just want to applaud you.
Thank you. I appreciate the recognition. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You deserve it.
How are you, Emily?
I'm fine. Was that convincing?
No.
Okay. I've got a million things to do and -1,000,000 days to do it. I have to do an entire scuba course before Sunday because we're doing our checkout dives on Sunday.
Oh.
And I have to have my nitrox certification. And I've already done like my first certification. Now I'm on to certification number 2, which I need to do both of those at the same time. But also I have a birthday cake and cupcakes to make for somebody in Knoxville, which that's about an hour and a half away from us, on the same as football. And I'm having a thing done on Friday. My daughter has her dance performance mock rehearsal also on Friday, and tomorrow's Thursday. Help.
Yeah.
I think the house is just gonna be dirty for a few days.
You
and
just have to
fine.
pick your battles.
Yeah. I'll clean it Monday.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. But other than that, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's get into our skit for today.
Yeah.
I'm excited to talk about our topic while I still have half a brain cell floating around in here.
Call Corey. Tell her you need to borrow it.
Corey,
real quick.
please let me have it. Please. 1855, during the Crimean War, 2 British soldiers at the Scutari Hospital discuss their surroundings.
Bill, do you think we'll make it out of here?
That's if the cholera doesn't kill us. Or the rats.
My bet's on the rats. Damn war. And damn army. They can't treat us this way.
Let me try to sleep before I die.
God, what I wouldn't do for a moment of peace.
Footsteps quietly echo in the hallway amidst the groanings of ill and injured men. A soft light casts a shadow of a woman as she stops at each bed and stretcher.
Are you all right? Here, have some water. I'll be back to change your bandages. Here's a salve for your fever. Ma'am, you're probably the first kind face we've seen since we left home. Shh, don't strain yourself. We've gotten you some fresh water. I'll have clean linens for you in the morning. Rest now.
Is she an angel?
I don't know about that, but what a lovely lady with the lamp.
So do you know who we're talking about today, Emily?
No.
We are talking about Florence Nightingale.
Okay, I know the name. I am unfamiliar with what she did and why we know her. So I'm excited.
One of her famous things that she's known for is being the lady with the lamp. She revolutionized nursing.
Okay. Got it.
Yes.
That's okay. The brain cells are knitting together.
There they are.
They're
there
coming.
They go.
They're coming. They're weaving in. We're good.
Actually, I remember reading a book about her when I was young. I think it was like a children's, picture book about Florence Nightingale. And I've always found her a super fascinating, interesting figure. So now I'm really excited to know a little bit more about her and her life.
Yeah.
So Florence Nightingale was born on May 12th, 1820 in Florence, Italy. She was named after where she was born.
Might as well.
She was born to English parents Frances Nightingale and William Shore Nightingale. Her father was a landowner who inherited properties, very wealthy man, and then her mother came from a family of merchants, so also a high society lady. She also had an older sister named Parthenope, who's also named after the city she was born.
Oh. Love it.
Yes. So the family returned to England in 1821, and they ended up living between two homes that William Nightingale had inherited. They had a summer home in Derbyshire called Leahurst, and they had a winter home in Hampshire called Embley. So they were wealthy. They were very well off.
Okay. Whatever.
Florence was described as awkward, and she hated being the center of attention. But she was, quote unquote, strong-willed and butted heads with her mother very often. Her mother wanted, I know, her mother wanted her to be a proper high society lady. And it's not that Florence wasn't, but she just had her own opinions. And sometimes that went against what her mom's opinions were. But still wanted to please her mom, She did, from all accounts, she loved her parents. Her father homeschooled her with the intention that she would get married young. Again, high society lady. She was very well educated in mathematics, language, philosophy, and religion. And she learned German, French, and Italian.
Damn.
So very educated lady. She was very intelligent and did very well academically. From the time she was young, she knew she wanted to help people. I didn't see at what age, but everything said when she was young. And she really started getting the idea of going into a nursing or a helping profession at the age of 16. She helped people around her home, near whichever homes that she was at. And she claims that in 1837, she was walking in a garden and she heard the voice of God calling to her saying, "You need to be a nurse."
Wow.
The problem is that nursing at the time was not an esteemed profession. It was seen as unskilled labor, to put it politely. Nurses at the time were often poor, often uneducated, and they were associated with quote unquote immoral behavior.
What?
I don't know. And hospitals themselves we've talked about it before. They were kind of cesspools. Like, hospitals were not clean. They were not regulated. They were breeding grounds for infection and disease.
Right.
And nurses did not help that reputation. So when she told her parents she wanted to be a nurse, they were aghast. Because it wasn't her station to get a job anyway. She was a wealthy woman of high class. It was her job to get married, have children, and raise a family. A high class family. She did not want to. She wanted to be a nurse. She actually did receive a marriage proposal when she was 17, which she rejected. She basically, her rationale was like, He was an attractive man. He wasn't
Okay.
a poor match, but she knew that, like, he would not fit into her life's plans. Like, her life's plans is she wanted to be a nurse. He would not fit into that plan, so she said no.
You know what? I can respect it.
She knows what she wants.
Yes.
So her father eventually relented, and in 1844, when she was 24 years old, she went to Germany to train at the School for Lutheran Deaconesses. And in 1850, she attended Pastor Theodor Fliedner's hospital school. She did a few years there, and then she went to train in Paris with the Sisters of Mercy, which is like a group of nuns that actually had very high quality nursing standards. Because really, if you wanted like medical care that wouldn't kill you, you would go to a nunnery.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So she was doing this for a while, and by the age of 33, she had done all this training, had all this experience in multiple places in Europe, and she had a pretty positive reputation too.
For 9 years she trained.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. She put her time in. So she returned in England in 1853, and she joined the, I don't think I wrote it down, but it was a hospital for like governesses specifically.
Okay.
And within a year there, she was promoted to superintendent because she was just so good at her job. She implemented cleaning standards and frequent hand washing. And while she was there, a cholera outbreak hit the hospital, and she worked really hard to make the conditions more sanitary and helped lower the death rate that was happening there.
Wow. Now, was this question, when was, who was the guy?
Oh, Ignaz
that saved all
Semmelweis.
The guy that saved all the babies.
Yes, Ignaz Semmelweis. I think he was in the 1830s.
So right before this.
Mm-hmm. So they're pretty aligned with each other. I don't know if she learned some of his research.
Right. Because I know at this time, this is what the
mid-1850s.
Mid-50s. So he's having success where he's at. Mm-hmm. But not everywhere is adopting the whole sanitation and everything like that.
Correct.
Quite yet. So her doing it at the same time as him is amazing.
Right. Okay. And it's helping because sanitation is good for not spreading disease.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? So
who would thunk it?
She, is helping with this hospital, helps control this cholera outbreak, and she's left exhausted. And then the Crimean War breaks out.
Of course it does.
So the Crimean War, which started in 1854, it was between the British and the Russians fighting over control in the Ottoman Empire in Turkey. I'm not going to go into detail about the Crimean War, but a lot of soldiers were coming back injured, and even more were very, very sick. And the hospitals that were set up in the area were just severely understaffed, and it caused a lot of neglect to occur. They experienced a lack of supplies, overcrowding, uncleanliness of the military camps and hospitals. There were actually more soldiers coming back sick with disease than had been injured in battle, primarily with typhoid and cholera.
Ugh.
So this is a quote from Assistant Surgeon Henry Bellew in January of 1855 about the Scutari Hospital, where we'll be talking about today. Quote, "All were swarming with vermin, huge lice crawling all about their persons and clothes. Many were grimed with mud, dirt, blood, and gunpowder stains. Several were completely prostrated by fever and dysentery. The sight was a pitiable one, and such as I had never before witnessed. There had been somehow unaccountable neglect in the arrangements for this hospital. Until some hours after the arrival of the men, there were neither stores, attendants, nor the necessary refreshments on the spot. During this afternoon, I attended single-handed to the wounds and wants of 74 helpless men."
Oh, that makes me want to throw up just not from the mistreatment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh. Those poor men.
It's awful. It is really bad. And the death rates were like 60%.
Oh, you just go there to die.
Basically. And not even from war, from disease, from illness.
Disease.
So word got out about the conditions of this hospital. And England, the citizens of England demanded their soldiers be treated better with care.
Yes.
So the Secretary of War, Sidney Herbert, knew Florence Nightingale. Couldn't figure out what their relationship was, but he asked her, because she was a great nurse and she turned around this other hospital, will you go down to help with this hospital? And she said yes. She went down with a team of 38 other nurses on November 4th, 1854 to Constantinople, where the Scutari Hospital was. So the conditions were just horrendous. So soldiers laid in their own excrement up and down the hallways. There were rodents and bugs. There wasn't enough bandages, soap, or even water. Again, typhoid and cholera were rampant, and for every 1,000 injured soldiers, 600 were dying from disease.
Whew.
It's fucking awful.
Wow. So
Florence and her team arrive, and the doctors there blow them off because they're females. They're ladies. What are you doing here? Go away. But then there was a battle that happened, and there was a huge wave of incoming soldiers. So they're like, oh my gosh, like, please help, because we physically cannot handle this amount of patients.
Right.
Florence starts getting to work turning about this hospital. The death rate, like I said, was very high. So she
also, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
seriously.
Fuck those doctors who were like, no, go away, women.
Seriously, there are men dying from disease and wounds, and they're not even clean.
Right.
And you're turning away hands that can help you?
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, put your pride aside.
Right. I actually have it here, the Battle of Inkerman, which was the battle that all these new soldiers came in.
Okay.
So Florence goes to work. She's trying to fix some of these problems, and for a while she thought that one of the big problems that men were dying from was lack of nutrition. But then as she was investigating, she realized that they were on top of a sewer that was damaged. So now all the fumes from the sewers are coming through the hospital. So they repaired the sewer and improved the ventilation in the hospital.
Thank God.
So in January of 1855, so she'd only been there for like 2 months, she wrote to the British commander in Crimea, Lord Raglan, and named the problem she was having. The medical staff there that were appointed there were not adequately trained, and hundreds of men could die if they did not get proper training. So Lord Raglan was like, oh yeah, she makes sense. And then I saw this quote from General Sir John Burgoyne, who was he wasn't the leader in Crimea, but he was one of the generals. And this is what he had to say about her. She did not, quote, appear to be amiable in ordinary intercourse with her equals or superiors. She likes to govern and bestows all her tenderness upon those who depend on her. Which that cracked me up. And I'm sure he meant that as an insult, but I just see that her being like, you motherfuckers, get me the supplies I need right now. I don't give a shit who you are.
And then turning around to these sick people in bed. Honey, are you okay?
Yes.
Do you need anything else?
Yes.
I'll get you whatever you need. And then turn around. Go! I said go! Good for her. That's what we need.
Really? And they got to work, not just fixing that fucking sewer, but they set up kitchens with differentiated kitchens for people with dietary needs. They set up a laundry. They improved the sanitation and bought in more medical equipment. They would write letters for soldiers who were too injured to write. And she also established a library and classrooms so they could read and learn while they were stuck in a hospital.
God, I love this woman already.
I know. She's wonderful. She also set a standard for her nurses to wear uniforms. So before this, like, nurses, I guess they just wore their regular clothes. Again, like, nursing wasn't considered like a profession of sorts. It was kind of like poor women do this to make a little bit of money, but they're not trained. They don't have the knowledge to help.
Right.
And she said, no, we're wearing uniforms to differentiate who we are from everyone else, to help keep ourselves sanitary. You know, they had aprons, they had hats to protect their heads. You know, they were decked out. And what she became famous for is that at night, she would check on each and every individual soldier. And she carried a lamp with her. And I actually have a picture of the lamp she used. It was a Turkish lamp called a fanus lantern. So some pictures have like an oil lamp. Some have like a European lamp. So that was the kind of lamp she used. But she would check on each soldier with her lamp at night just to make sure they were doing okay. And she became known as the lady with the lamp. I know. She also became known as the Angel of Crimea. And actually, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote a poem honoring her called Santa Filomena, which is about a nurse who, like, checked on all of her patients with a lamp. She was so compassionate and caring to her patients.
Damn.
Just wonderful.
I have no words because of how great she is. Please tell me there's no shoe that's going to drop later.
I couldn't find anything.
Oh, thank God. We got another Beatrix Potter.
I know. We have another angel. So within 6 months, they turned that hospital around. They went from about a 60% death rate to 2%.
Okay, egg on those guys' faces.
Yeah. She also wrote an 850-page report titled Notes on Matters Affecting the Health, Efficiency, and Hospital Administration of the British Army. And this report actually helped revolutionize military healthcare.
Wow.
So in May of 1855, she went to go check out the conditions of things in Balaclava, which I guess was another place in the Crimean, and she was soon struck with Crimean fever. And I looked up Crimean fever. This is a tick-borne disease that's pretty horrible. It's really bad, and things were pretty scary for her for a few weeks. It wasn't quite 100% if she was going to make it, but after a few weeks, on May 24th, she was out of imminent danger of succumbing to this disease. I know. And it also didn't help that she was such a busy woman that her recovery took longer too, because she just didn't stop.
Yeah.
So Florence wrote to Sidney Herbert, who was the Secretary of War during her illness, quote, "During the greater part of the day, I have been without food necessarily, except a little brandy and water. You see, I am taking to drinking like my comrades in the army."
When in doubt, drink it out.
Yes. So she stayed at Scutari Hospital for a year and a half, and
wow.
Eventually went home in 1856 to a hero's welcome, which she hated. She was like, "No, don't look at me."
Please, no.
She's a humble lady.
Just point me to the closest hospital that needs me.
Yes. Well, she actually went to the Queen.
Oh.
She continued to advocate for better conditions in hospitals, and she actually presented... Also, this lady was an amazing statistician.
Okay.
She... Actually, I have a graph for you.
I saw the graph.
She
it is
made that.
White detail.
She made that. She invented this type of data.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's called a Nightingale Rose diagram.
That's really cool.
I know. This is one of the first versions of the pie chart. which is crazy. So while she was at Scutari, she started collecting information about the deaths. And the deaths that were happening were not being reported accurately. So she used the data that she was collecting to create these diagrams to support her push for hospital reform. And what's so amazing about this diagram that she made is that there's multiple sources of data that you can see in one graph. So it shows the soldiers were less likely to die at hospitals on the front, where there's a 12.5% mortality rate, than at Scutari, where there's this 37.5 mortality rate when she took this data. The different sets of data that are shown are comparing the causes of death across months and at different hospitals. So it's kind of hard to tell, but blue are disease and red is injury. And I'm not sure what brown is.
Okay.
And then each pie slice is a month. And then the two different graphs are comparing at Scutari and then at a different camp on the front lines. So Scutari's on the right.
Wow, it's way bigger.
Yeah. And both are measuring between April and March. April of 1855 to March of 1856. So almost a year.
Wow.
And
damn.
Other statisticians using her information found that 16,000 out of 18,000 deaths were caused by preventable disease, not active warfare.
Preventable being a heavy word there.
Yes, very heavy.
Damn.
So she consolidates this data and she presents it to Queen Victoria and Prince Albert and says, things have to change here. And they say, yes, ma'am, they do.
Because they're losing, from their perspective, I mean, not just like loved ones, but they're losing thousands of soldiers.
Right.
From preventable things.
Right.
Not even war.
So with her information, the Queen forms the Royal Commission for the Health of the Army in 1857. Mm-hmm. And because of her statistical analysis, Florence was actually the first woman elected to the Royal Statistical Society in 1858.
Whoa, cool.
She's not done, though. Oh my gosh, we still have more to go.
Of course she's not.
So in 1859, she set up the Army Medical College in Chatham and also published a book called Notes on Nursing, What It Is and What It Is Not. And this book gives kind of a how-to guide of how to give good patient care and set up safe hospital guidelines.
Okay.
And I have a picture of the book, the title page.
Cool.
Florence Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale.
Also, that's just like the prettiest name ever to have existed.
Oh my God. Seriously.
In honor of her good work, Queen Victoria gave her a jeweled brooch that I have a picture of for you, Emily. I think it's above the book picture, but it's on the left, and it says, "Blessed are the merciful." So that was made for Florence by the Queen. Not personally, but you know what I mean. And she also gave her £250,000.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
Holy shit. What is that now?
Oh gosh, I meant to look it up.
What year was that?
Let's say 1858.
That's roughly 40 million pounds.
Oh shit.
40.324 million pounds.
Okay, let me see. Oh, and that's about over $54 million. So yeah, she was good.
She's
good.
Fine.
She's good. So in addition to this, like this was a gift. There was also a fund set up by patrons. I couldn't figure out who specifically, but I guess just donors who really thought she was doing good work. And they donated over £40,000 to like this fund in her name, which she used to establish her own training school.
Wow.
So in 1860, the Nightingale Training School at St. Thomas Hospital was opened. And this was the first professional nursing school.
Whoa.
Similar schools were set up in the United States, Africa, and Australia. Education at her school included 1 year of academics and 2 years of practical training. And I thought it was interesting. Apparently, as she was designing wards for the school, she requested full-height windows for maximum light and fresh air. Because again, they didn't have HVACs or electricity, really. So
look at her.
Unfortunately, after she never fully recovered from the Crimean fever, and so she actually became bedridden at the age of 38. Off and on. So, and I also saw that she suffered from chronic fatigue syndrome, probably caused by that disease. But that didn't fucking stop her either.
Of course it didn't.
So she consulted on the state of field hospitals during the Civil War. So like American generals were like writing to her saying, hey, how are our field hospitals? And she would like tell them how they were doing. She became an authority on public sanitation in India.
Wow.
She just wrote a shit ton. She supported the founding of the British Red Cross. She wrote over 150 books, pamphlets, and reports on safe nursing practices, which is fucking crazy. And Emily, when I read this, my mind was blown. She wrote over 130 campaign letters supporting feminism and women's suffrage.
One, no wonder she has chronic fatigue syndrome. She tired.
I calculated that. If she wrote every day for 20 years, that would be 17 letters a day. On top of the books and pamphlets and reports that she wrote.
Good God.
I don't know how that's possible, but she's Florence fucking Nightingale, so.
Yeah.
And she also wrote frequent letters to Queen Victoria. They were pen pals.
Of course they were.
Poems, songs, plays were written about her and dedicated to her. She became a role model for so many young women. And actually, women in the upper elite wanted to become nurses because of her.
Oh, wow. She changed the culture of nursing.
She did. She 100%
not just the practices.
Changed nursing forever. It is now an esteemed profession that you can be proud of.
Because she told her daddy no. See? Guys, rebel for good.
So neither her nor her sister had any children. So I was reading through there's a museum website, and there's like an FAQ section's like, I think I'm related to her, or I'm a descendant from her. And they're like, no, you're not, because she didn't have any children, and neither did her sister. So she did have an owl named Athena that she rescued while in Greece.
So she's a badass. Okay, got
Maybe
it.
had 60 cats. Like 60 cats.
So she's a cat lady, too.
Yes. I mean, she never got married. She never had children. She had her
Might as
patients
well.
and her kitties.
Oh, my God.
She received several awards in her lifetime. In 1907, when she was 88 years old, she received the Order of Merit from Edward VII, which is the UK's highest civilian decoration, and she was one of the first of 8 women to receive this award.
Wow.
She was also given a bust of herself that soldiers had made for her, which I think was just...
That's
and
so sweet.
King George wished her a happy birthday in May of 1910. So in August of 1910, she became ill, and she seemed to get better for a little while, but then she got really worse, and she ended up not recovering, and she died on August 13th, 1910, at the age of 90 years old.
Jesus Christ.
She did not want a big to-do funeral. Again, she's a very humble lady. A national funeral was offered, and they actually asked, the officials, I guess, wanted to initially bury her in Westminster Abbey, but her family declined. They knew that she didn't want a big fuss made about her, so they had a private funeral, and she is buried at St. Margaret's Church in East Wellow, which is near her parents' home. Florence Nightingale helped establish nursing as a respectable profession. Before her, it was considered not a good job to have. People who were nurses were ill-trained, poorly disciplined, and most were working class. And she helped transform the profession of nursing into something that people wanted to do and be proud of. In 1912, the International Committee of the Red Cross established the Florence Nightingale Medal that is given to outstanding nurses or people who have survived like crazy disaster situations every 2 years. In 1934, the Florence Nightingale International Foundation, later just the Florence Nightingale Foundation, was founded and is still active today. They have a website that's linked in the show notes. International Nurses Day is on her birthday. Since 1965. And in May of 2010, the Florence Nightingale Museum at St. Thomas Hospital reopened for the 100th anniversary of her death.
Wow.
A bicentennial celebration of her birth was held in 2020 to celebrate nursing and midwifery around the world, which, what a time to celebrate her birthday in May of 2020.
Oh, geez, in the middle of a pandemic.
Ooh, right.
We could have used her.
We could have. U.S. nurses recite the Nightingale Pledge, which is similar to the Hippocratic Oath, at pinning ceremonies when they earn their nursing degrees. In England, during the COVID-19 pandemic, temporary hospitals were called NHS Nightingale hospitals, and she has a statue near the Guards Crimean War Memorial in London.
Holy, my God. She deserves every bit of that.
I know. She's amazing.
I love her.
I do too. I got the idea. I was just scrolling through social media and I just saw it was a video of two women dancing. And there's a statue behind them. And someone in the comments was like, what is that statue? And someone said, oh, it's a statue of Florence Nightingale at this Chinese nursing university. And I was like, oh, I should do Florence Nightingale. So that's how I got the idea to cover her.
Perfect. I love this so much. Think of the millions of people that she has saved.
Really?
God. Like, now I'm thinking there's like, someone tells you they're a nurse and it's like, wow, that's hard stuff. That's
I couldn't be me. Could not be me. I could never in a million years be a nurse.
I can't remember enough fine details because you know me, I'm a big picture kind of a person. Yeah. You have to remember specific teeny tiny little things and I can't do that. I can't handle
the human aspect of it. I can't handle the smells or the fluids or the people. So props to nurses.
See, I'd be fine with all that. I'd just accidentally make someone sick or kill somebody because I forgot something. But I do like a high stress situation though. My brain, and I don't know why, sometimes I miss working in food. Mm-hmm. And you have like a line out the door and you're making food like crazy.
Yeah.
Gets that adrenaline going.
Ooh, I still have nightmares.
See, me, I'm like, I could, should I pick up another job? Like, I need it. But no.
I still
this
have
is better.
Serving nightmares of where I'm trying to wait tables and I have too many and everyone's mad at me and I'm like, ah!
Yeah. There was one morning when I worked at Panera, I had a dream. It was like right before I went to bed. It was right before I woke up to go to work. I dreamed I woke up, took my shower, got ready, drove to work, opened the store, and as soon as I put my key in the door to unlock it, I actually woke up.
Oh, I hate that.
And I had to go do it again. It was so real, I forgot where I was for a second. I was like, did I just go through the Matrix? Like, am I in...
Did I skip a day? What just happened?
What? Holy shit. This is the weirdest thing. And I was so unsettled all day because I'm like, I've already done this. Yeah. But this, Florence
Nightingale. The lady with the lamp. Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to, like, incorporate that in my skit, so it turned out a little awkward. Sorry. It's no caffeine coming back from food poisoning brain that wrote that skit.
That's okay. That's okay.
I finished it like 5 minutes before we got on here, so.
Legitimately cannot tell you how happy I am that you are functioning right now. I sometimes, if I'm late getting my coffee in the morning, I forget how to speak. Words do not come out of my mouth right. So you're doing grand.
You're
doing great.
I also did a full day of work today, and I'm still doing house stuff, so I'm suffering just a little bit.
Suffering. Oh my God.
Socials.
We should do socials.
Starting to feel nauseous again.
Oh no. Okay. You can find us on Facebook,
Ill-Equipped History Podcast Group and page.
TikTok,
at Ill-Equipped History.
Gmail,
ill-equippedhistory@gmail.com.
Instagram,
at Ill-Equipped History.
And Patreon.
Patreon.com/Ill-Equipped History, where we have bonus episodes every month for $5 a month, and you get access to our stickers.
And if you haven't seen the post from this week, just tell me a few of the topics that you see on that post. You'll know it when you see it. And I'll send you a sticker.
Do it.
Just for interacting with us.
Do it.
Yeah, you don't have to get them all. Just, see if you can get some of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening, and follow your dreams and say no to your parents.
Absolutely. For good. Say no to your parents for good.
For good.
If you have a calling, go do that calling, unless the calling is murder. Do something good.
If it helps other people, that is good.
Yes. If it's not, don't do it.
You don't have to write 130 letters in your lifetime. That's okay. You don't feel like you have to do that.
Right. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.